Welcome into the JUCO Full Windup, brought to you by Pepsi. Alongside Phil Stafford, I'm Kyle Stanley. And Phil, what better way to spend Memorial Day than here at Supplesio Field with some baseball?
Absolutely. Every year we get to enjoy this, and a fireworks show, obviously, concluding our nightcap game. But we had over 8,000 fans in attendance during our afternoon game, even more in the evening game, so the local community absolutely agrees with us.
So why don't we start off with the fireworks with that evening game? Both Walters State and McLennan are 1-0 in the World Series, but the Senators have gotten here by winning 55 games prior to this week, while the Highlanders won just 38. Pick this one up in the second inning. Jarrett Hood knows this one is gone from the second it touches the bat. Walters State gets on the board first with the solo shot. But McLennan says, we're from Texas and everything is bigger in Texas. So not just one, but two solo jacks from the Highlanders in back-to-back fashion. First Brandon Gredzalonic, then Tucker Johnson, virtually the same spot, and now McLennan has the 2-1 lead. Reese Calvert looked like he was ready to go into cruise control, but Walters State says not so fast. Kyle Wilson lines this one up the middle. Johnson can't handle it, and in comes Lucas Ledford to tie the game up. Later in the inning, Raymond Osuna takes advantage of a huge hole up the middle. 2-out single scores Wilson, and now Walters State has the lead again. Fifth inning, the Senators start to take advantage of some mistakes. After a 2-run error, Ross Grosvenor says, "Here comes the boom." No, seriously, he really says that.
Say it, Ruth.
Osuna decides to join the fun as well. More boom from the Senators, and that is the 5th home run of the game. Meanwhile, Jake Usher was good. Only 5 innings, but 8 strikeouts, and really only made a couple of mistakes. McLennan tried to make some 9th inning noise, but it was all for naught. Final score of this one, 10-6.
Just the entire setting with the ceremony before for Memorial Day, and that in itself is something these kids will never forget. I know I'll never forget it.
You get a hard hit ground ball, to second base to get a third out in an inning, and you don't get it, and it turns into 2 runs, a 2-run error there, and then the very next hitter hits a 2-run home run, and it's a 4-run swing, and if you make the play, you're in. You just got to play them, and you got to be really good. You can't give them extra outs.
A hunting we will go, says Austin Hammer before this elimination game.
Gator hunting, boys. We're going gator hunting. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Yeah! What's up, Johnny? How you doing, boy? Hey. Gator hunting. You ready? You ready? Gator hunting. Let's go. Let's go, coach. Here we go. 22, you ready to go gator hunting, cuz? Let's go, boy. Let's go. Let's go. Right here. Let's go. You ready, buddy? Let's go. Gator hunting, boys. Gator hunting. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, boy. This is how we beat the Gators, right here. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Right here. Right here. Give me that. Yeah.
It's got to be us today, okay?
Sure.
Got to be who we are. Our best is good enough, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's line them up.
Let's go!
Dominate on 3. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dominate!
Meanwhile, the Gators were hoping to chow down on the Conquistadors. Rex Hill gets the start for San Jacinto, but the lefty struggled early on. First inning, Josh Williams and that sweet swinger at it again. Liner down the left field line. Williams ends up at second, and Frankie Valli scores this game's first run. From there, Dodge City wanted to ride the bus with Russ. Russell Mithlow looking sharp early on, and his catcher helped him at the plate. Jordan Fields says, how about we give some right field sponsors some airtime? Just clears the Hilltop sign to make it 3-0. And Rex Hill's day is done after an inning and a third. At one point, this game was 4-0, but in the fourth, Kyle Barfield changes that one with one swing, 2 runners aboard. The freshman gives it a ride to center over the head of Johnny Balsamo. 2 runners score easily, and the relay throw to the infield gets away. Barfield makes it from home to home for a Little League home run, all tied up at 4. Fifth inning now after a sacrifice fly to give the Gators a lead. Austin Boyd pads the lead. Bullet to left scores Walker Texas Gator Pennington, make it a 6-4 game. Meanwhile, Colton Schmidt locked down Dodge City 4 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, and allowed just 1 run. But things got interesting after he came out. It was a 7-4 game, but after Josh Williams tallies another RBI hit, it's 7-5. 7th inning, Fields comes back for more. Long drive to left and way gone for a solo shot. That cuts the lead now to 7-6. Sanjak adds another run in the top of the 8th, but they can't seem to get rid of Dodge City. Wild pitch, come on down Frankie Valley, back to a 1-run game. Later in the inning, Jordan Doan tries to tie this one up, but Max Woods comes up out of nowhere to snag this one. And after the Gators add another run on, that was enough for Sanjak to hold on and eliminate Dodge City. Final score 9-7.
And I wouldn't trade my brothers and my coaches for anything, and all those guys will always be my brothers for life. And it's probably the hardest thing to do is if you win games or you don't win games, the hardest thing to do is when the season comes to an end, you have to say goodbye to all these guys you had a bond with.
It's the greatest team in Dodge City history right there. And they had something to prove. From the very beginning, there's people that doubted them. And then again, they did everything we asked them to do. I love those guys. They worked their tails off. And there's nothing much more I can say other than they earned everything that they got right there.
It's been more than 2 years since a team got the best of the Iowa Western Reavers in the JUCO World Series. Northwest Florida State faced that daunting task this afternoon, and we go inside the Raiders huddle.
All right, now these son of a guys have won 36 in a row. They've won 3 national titles here. But at some point, in some time, there's going to be some team that decides to step up.
Starting pitcher Brian Browning heard something from Coach Martin that struck a chord. He found himself in a bit of trouble, though, in the first. With the bases loaded, he induces the fly out to center. Browning escapes what would be his toughest battle of the day. Mitch McIntyre on the other side issued walks to the first 2 batters in the bottom of the frame. That draws Mark Raritan out of the dugout a little quicker than the Hall of Famer would have liked. Then on an 0-2 count, Dakota Dean keeps his bat hot, fits under the glove of Jake Scudder at first. Mac Hathcock makes the turn to come home. After an RBI double by Danny Blanco, Hunter Benning sends a chopper up the middle. Coming in to score is Blanco. The Raiders find themselves with a 5 spot in the first inning. The Reavers would make 3 pitching changes in the first 4 frames, and to the 4th, Jordan Getzelman spanks one to center to lead off the inning. He's hustling around the bases like he's got a triple, but the Raiders double relay gets in. Feltner applies the tag. For the first time in a long time, we see Iowa Western held scoreless here at Simplesio. Final opportunity for the Reavers is the 6th. Catcher Tyler Cropley, slow roller down the line. Feltner charging in, makes the throw, and gets the out to escape the inning. Bottom of the 6th, Raiders seek to close this game out. Sean Feltner does the honors, batting in 2 more runs. And behind Brian Browning, Northwest Florida State upsets Iowa Western, holding them to just 6 hits.
Once we got out of that first inning, I was able to realize I need to go right at these hitters. So, because they were fouling off a lot of fastballs, so 0-0, I would like go right at them with a fastball, and it's much easier to pitch with 0-1 instead of 1-0.
It's hard to play that way, though. You know, I call it the O factor. Oh, God, oh, no, and then, oh, you know, the other one. So we call it the O factor. You know, we just got in it, and we couldn't get out of it.
I've watched all the games that they've played this year, and that's about as complete a game with the pitching and the defense and the offense there, especially in those 2 innings, is maybe we have had in a while.
Time now to jump into our Can't Miss Moments segment brought to you by Community Hospital. We'll start with the play of the day. It's the run-saving play by Sean Feltner of Northwest Florida State. They shut out Iowa Western, the first time the Reavers have been shut out and 10-run ruled since 2009.
And how about your home run, or should I say home runs of the day? Back-to-back, not only batters, but pitches. Brandon Gredzalonic first, then the very next pitch, it's Tucker Johnson. That gave McLennan the lead, but Walter State eventually won this battle. So tomorrow is day 4. We're going from 7 teams down to 5 with 2 elimination games happening. And a funny story here with Iowa Western. You know, last year they went through the entire winner's bracket. Well, they were back in the loser's bracket back in 2012 also and still won a national championship. So it seems like no matter if they win or lose, they're trying to get to that national championship.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that winner's bracket game between Northwest Florida. An absolutely huge confidence boost to win over Iowa Western today. But they've got Chattahoochee Valley, who had quite provide a confidence boost in that comeback win on Sunday evening. So that should be a very fun game to keep track of, and you can keep track of all of the JUCO World Series here on www.jucogj.org. Of course, this is the JUCO Full Windup presented by Pepsi. For Kyle Stanley, I'm Phil Stafford. We'll see you on day 4.